time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, guys. Welcome back and happy Thursday. All right, guys. Well, we're back to talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12, Episode 3. And this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Just the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to be back, period, which I'm so excited. I love watching this franchise, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of drama. Now, in the meantime, you guys know how this works. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed so you can join us in the live chat. I dropped the link for you guys to call in. I know Jason's mom just came in town, so we might be losing him a little bit early, but we would love to take some callers. And also, don't forget to smash that like button. So with that, let's welcome Jason. Good morning.
What's up, everyone? Good morning.
Oh, why are you so peppy?
I don't know. Well, my mom's in town for the holiday weekend, which is fun. And Beverly Hills is kicking it off pretty good this season.
It is kicking it off pretty good. You know, I asked everybody who are they team? The Faux 4, because we don't have Teddy Mellencamp anymore, but we do have Diana Jenkins, who's kind of bouncing back and forth, or Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal. And everyone, for the majority, voted Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal.
How can you not right now? I mean, there's no way you could be team anyone else because they just walked themselves into their own hypocrisy like we saw with Kyle. But we did see Teddy Mellencamp. So she went from a housewife. I mean, she got demoted like crazy. She's not even a friend of the show. They just have her like walk by. They didn't even talk to her or anything.
Well, she was a correspondent that night for Kyle's store opening for Entertainment Tonight, but it is what it is.
Now, good for her.
I want to kick this off by asking you really quick, if you could rate this episode 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, and guys, you two in the live chat, let us know what you would rate this episode. 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Jason, I'm going to start with you.
Am I frozen?
Oh, you are frozen.
No, that sucks.
You could be
okay, so for right now, until my camera gets like back on track here, I'm gonna have to say 8.5. I really enjoyed it. I love that we're back in La Quinta. It's the almost the 1 year anniversary of Erika being La Quinta. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good episode. I'm curious to what people have to say.
Okay, we're getting 8, 7, 9, 6, 7.5, a 4. Holy crap!
4,
7, 8, a shady 7, and an 8. And Teddy sucks. God, okay. Guys, 100 people in the room. Go ahead, smash that like button. I'm going to give it an 8. And there's a few reasons, and we'll break it down. Now, we kick off this episode with Crystal Kung Minkoff inviting all of the girls over to her house, minus Sutton. And they start, kind of chatting about lighter topics. But then, of course, Kyle brings up in front of the rest of the crew, which Kyle has become shady as hell, right? I mean, yes. Kyle brings up in front of the rest of the group the simple fact that, well, Sutton said something about Dorit, and when she did, she said something to the effect of, well, I'm sorry I didn't have a gun put to my head. I mean, I understand that this is the show, but what is the point of, I agreed with Garcelle when Garcelle was like, I don't think we should talk about this without Sutton here. And also, they're supposed to be there for Dorit right now, and Dorit called her the night before having a panic attack, letting us know that she had anxiety, she had panic attacks, and she had to take a Xanax. So why are you continuing to bring things up like, I'm sorry I didn't have a gun put to my head?
Well, okay, yes, that was not right. Sorry, my camera has been flipping out here, and I apologize. But I'll call back in a second. But I do have to say, I'm loving Garcelle because Garcelle is actually moving it along here, and she's not falling for any of the BS. Talking about... Dorit behind her back, when everyone is, when she leaves to go to the bathroom, Garcelle is actually asking when Dorit gets back, Dorit, how are you? Why is no one already asking this? Right. So, but I do have to say there is something about Garcelle that doesn't believe anything coming out of Dorit's mouth. I mean, regardless, and I don't know what it is.
You feel
Garcelle, I do. I don't know if it's like, because she didn't get enough information probably from Erika last season. So she's like, I need more information. I still need to feel you out. There's something about, I don't know. There's something about Dorit I don't think Garcelle is completely sure of. That's just the gist I'm getting.
There was a clip on Instagram this morning, and we've been running around like crazy. We have family in town. So I didn't get a chance to catch whether or not this was never before seen scene clip, or if it was a clip that was on the show, because I watched it last night. You watched it this morning. But there was a moment where Garcelle was talking to Erika and asking her why she hasn't said anything or shown any empathy on behalf of the victims. And Erika's like, I can't say anything because every word counts when you're in a legal situation like mine.
But Erika, and towards the end of the episode too, when they're in La Quinta, Erika comes off so angry and she has so much energy to use for this anger, but she needs to really put the energy into being empathetic for the victims and clients her husband screwed over. That's all I think people want, but she just comes off.
Well, she even said to Garcelle, she's like, we're not even sure that those victims didn't get paid. And we're like, wait, what?
Okay, girl, listen. She can't even... she comes off so unrelatable, and this was her opportunity, I think, this season to come with some empathy, to come with maybe like less anger, less, I think to be a more vulnerable, real person.
Right.
And I think Erika lost that opportunity because she doesn't come off relatable when she's with her stylist looking through her clothes that she might have to wear for a second time. That's so unrelatable.
I mean,
and the empathy isn't there.
I think I've worn this shirt probably like 50 times. So I definitely cannot relate to that. I have clothes in you have clothes in our closet, jackets from 2003. Let's be real.
Well, but those are like, the real expensive, how if you do, the only good thing about designer brands, I do have to say, like the extra, like the Pradas, I've had a Prada jacket for 19 years. People think it's brand new. They're like, whoa, this is so nice. And I'm like, right, I've had it for 19 years and I take care of it. And it's amazing. And it's definitely gotten its value. So Erika, there is hope for your clothes. I promise.
Okay. All right. So Kyle is on the verge of opening another store because we know that her previous stores, well, they didn't pan out. She did explain to us that when she opened her stores, retail was popping. And then after that, well, everything came kind of crashing down. So she's doing it again in a place where, there's a less risk. So she's taking her new store, Kyle by Shahida. She's taking this new store to the desert. Now, we're all headed to the desert and we see Kyle driving herself. Dorit was originally supposed to drive with her, but is still going through panic attacks. And she's getting to the house to set it up for the rest of the women because, well, some of them get to stay and some of them don't. We know that Crystal, Sutton, and Diana Jenkins will all be staying in a hotel, and we know the rest of the women will be staying with her. But I thought it was really funny because Jason just had some friends in town from London, and I was asking them about different things, like asking them, do you know what a roadie is? And they're like, a roadie? What is a roadie? Remember? And then they're all talking about, a roadie at Erika's house. I was like, please, I hope they're watching, which, by the way, happy birthday, Stephanie. So I hope they're watching this. And, when they all got roadies and they start heading out, I thought it was funny, Crystal and Diana's conversations, because Diana, as I'm starting to love her already, but she's also very unrelatable.
I mean, yeah, listen, the conversation between Crystal and Diana going up to La Quinta with, have you been to the outlets up here? Which I actually do love those outlets. Just FYI, and they're pretty damn expensive still. But yeah, she comes off a little unrelatable. However, she is giving me that old like Housewives thing that kind of enticed me to watch Housewives, that kind of unrelatable. Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm so rich. My life is so different. That's why I want to watch you. But just to go back to Kyle really quick in her store, do you remember the whole fashion show she did with, I think, the same partner?
Yeah.
And how she came into the fashion show. She's like, oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. Hold on. I have to come in and fix it. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. She did the same thing at her store opening. And I'm like, girl, we know that you're just the investor at this point. Like, I don't see you actually coming in and being this powerhouse, whatever. She said, in 2018, retail really took a hit. No, you took a hit. Retail took a hit during the pandemic. So I don't know. When she comes in and she's like, where are the flowers? Why is it this way? Why isn't that way? I don't know. You got to Palm Springs pretty damn early. You could have gone to your store and helped set up.
Okay. Listen, the outlets thing was funny to me. And again, I don't think that Diana is that relatable, but we get all of the women showing up, and then we see where Dorit is noticeably different. She still looks stunning, but we always know Dorit to deliver a look. It's like Dorit versus Erika. Who can deliver the best look? At this point, Erika claims that she's broke, so she's wearing the same things twice because, Well, if she doesn't, she goes out and spends money, then
I'm
the
just
trust
going to go on this camera because it's bothering me that I can't like be part of this. So
listen,
I look like, you know, I'm FaceTiming you.
Welcome back. You know what's so funny is Mike is in the chat saying her ugly ass robes took a hit. Okay.
Wait, which robes?
He's saying that the robes from Kyle X Shahida, because it's a lot of like, you know, it's
a lot of gowny. I mean, Diana was right about that, right? That's stuff that you would wear in your house.
Well, oh my gosh, the shade too. When she's like, this is even something that I would wear in my house. It's like, is that a compliment? Because if you saw me around my house, I'm always in my, like, I don't know, I'm always just in underwear, really. And Jason, I mean, like, always says when I record,
I have to say, yeah, right now, I bet you Adam is in underwear, like what you don't see from the waist down. And I'm like, can you at least put on some pants? Oh, I'm looking at that camera, but I'm on this one. I'm like, can you at least put on some pants when you go to work? You know, this is not how. This is not...
I mean, that is the perk of working from home. I like to work in my underwear. I think that's okay.
Hey, do you?
Norma Maldonado. Hi, good morning, Norma. Girl, please. Before Diana had money, she never shopped in a store. Please. By the way,
I mean,
this
listen,
weekend
girl.
in Palm Springs. I'll check out Kyle's store. Okay.
I'm going to need you to do a vlog for us, Norma, so I can see actually what the store itself looked nice because Shahida has her shit together, I think.
And Pam said, why are you outing Adam? LOL. Thank you. Thank you.
You know what I do have to say, though?
I got to stop professional. Mike, quiet.
No, listen. Yeah, Mike got a really good haircut, so I had to go get my haircut. You know what I do love about the unrelatable part of Diana, though? I love how she sends her team ahead to get the place ready, to unpack, to make sure everything is the way she likes it. I'm like, I like to see that kind of housewives, you know, unrelatableness, because I'm just like, you're ridiculous, but it's fun to watch. I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, that then it ends there because I'm like, later when she, well, we'll get to that in a second. I'll let you run this show.
So let's talk about the moment where Crystal chats with Sutton at the hotel, and she said, listen, at this point, I feel like we're starting to become friends. You know, they've gone on trips together, they've gone to baseball games together, and now she feels like I want to maintain full transparency. So when I had the women at my house the other day, they brought up a moment where you had a discussion with Kyle and you came off maybe a little bit insensitive. And Sutton shared that her dad put a gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger, and that she also had a burglary of her own when she was a little girl. So these topics for her are triggering. I'm wondering, from the people in the live chat, do you think this is Sutton's way to, like, she realized, oh shit, I messed up, I said the wrong thing, so if I put this out there, then maybe I can kind of reel it back in? Or do you think that this is honest and Sutton's like, I don't like having these conversations because it just gets me flustered?
I mean, listen, I think she did come off a little not sympathetic or empathetic when Kyle was talking to her originally, but after hearing her story, I can understand it a little better, you know, and I think Crystal understood that too. And I actually think when Sutton got the chance to talk to Dorit, she came across very genuine and authentic.
You know, growing up for me, there was a moment where I had a couple of moments, and you know this, but my stepdad held a gun in front of all of us to my mom. And then also I was passing by the window one night and I heard something and I looked out the window and he was crouched down under the window with a butcher knife. So those moments, but then also if I had a friend, I just have to say, and everybody's different, so I don't want to take away from Sutton. And thankfully my mom's still here, so that didn't, you know, he didn't play that part out. But I do have to say, I still would be able to have a conversation about a friend who was just burglarized and held at gunpoint, who just saw their life flash before their eyes. And I would be able to show empathy and not be like, you know what, I'm putting out fires too, because I had a French designer who got stopped by immigration and it's all relevant. Sorry, I didn't have a gun put to my head.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I also grew up and had traumatizing things happen, but I could also still empathize with the friend.
No, of course. I mean, hers was a little more traumatic even than that. So I understand, but everyone has their way of feeling and going through things. I mean, as we saw with Crystal a little later. So I can't take that away from Sutton, but also again, I think she's just putting a wall up with Dorit.
Right. No, I mean, I agree. And I think that Sutton's very skeptical. You know, Sutton recently came out in an interview and she was asked at this point, do you believe that when Erika said that she didn't know about anything that was going on with her husband's misdoings, do you believe that she didn't know? And Sutton said, listen, I've softened up a little bit on Erika, but no, I'm not going to lie. I'm still not a full believer. I don't believe her. She's like, Sutton is just I think she's skeptical of everyone at this point. She just knows that like Beverly Hills is like kind of a...
Well, you can walk into traps so easily. The traps that are set up by Lisa Rinna, the traps that are when Kyle, Kyle was ridiculous to me this episode. And sometimes I like Kyle especially for Beverly Hills. I can't imagine Beverly Hills without Kyle, but there is just like a lot of hypocrisy and just a lot of the ways where she brings things up. And then once someone gets behind Kyle, she like steps behind them and she's like, yeah. And it's like, that's not, I don't know. So I can see why Sutton would be cautious to believe things she's hearing or things she does hear, because it does come back to bite you in the ass if you're not part of that faux force 4 or whatever.
Yeah. Faux force 4. Yes. Force faux 4, whatever the hell.
Whatever it is.
Something. Okay.
Girls. Those 4 contracts are quickly coming to an end. So we'll see how much of,
I mean, technically, this is the last season for Lisa Rinna and Jayne, Erika Girardi, whatever you want to call her at this point, before their contracts get renewed. Their contracts are up after season 12. So once they finish the reunion, they don't know.
We have Diana, who's interesting so far. I mean, second episode with her. So she's interesting. We have Crystal and Garcelle coming in hot and giving me everything, moving this along. Garcelle is asking the questions we want to ask. She's like, okay, Dorit, how are you feeling? Now let's talk about it. There was lots of shit said behind your back the other day, Sutton. Now, Sutton, you're here, so let's talk about it. And she is Lisa wants to talk about it when she says, let's talk about it or mention it all. Mention her side, Garcelle is like, let's actually sit down and talk about it. And how is that? Because that quickly kind of...
But Kyle looks so agitated. The ladies
don't know what to do.
Because Kyle was like, we've already talked about it. And Sutton did, to be fair, and to give Sutton props, she owned it. She, at Kyle's store opening, she walked up to Dorit and she said, it was insensitive. I do apologize. I shouldn't have said that. And do you accept my apology? And Dorit just looks so broken at this point. And this is not me being disrespectful, but she just looks like, Sutton, I could give a shit what you have to say. Honestly, I accept your apology. Thank you for apologizing. Did I think it was insensitive? Yes. But she's like, my mind is not here to argue with you right now. I'm not giving you that energy. I don't have it to give. But I did get a kick out of when Sutton went to hug Kyle and she's like stabbing her in the back. And Kyle's like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, just stabbing you in the back here. Why don't you pull the knife out of mine? I like the dig. Sutton is coming in with the digs this season and I'm living for it.
And I thought Crystal was so boring until the end of last season. And I'm just enjoying her more and more now too.
I mean, listen.
And that's why you got to give him a second season. We gave Teddy so many seasons. And I don't want to talk about her because, you know how I feel about Teddy.
We'll talk about her when she's on Twats, 2 T's in a pod. Okay. Claire said Garcelle did what a true friend should. And I agree with that. Garcelle said, at Crystal's house, she's like, I don't want to talk about Sutton when Sutton's not here to defend herself in the conversation. This isn't right. So in that moment, she's like, we're all here. Let's have the conversation. Everybody's here now. Sutton, go ahead and open up about it. Where Kyle was like, we've already had this conversation. And then this is the moment that triggered Crystal Kungminkoff. Crystal felt like last season when Sutton walked in and she was naked and she covered herself up and Sutton made a comment saying, what are you doing in here? And she said she felt violated. She felt like none of the women would hear her out and they were like, violated is a strong word. And then she was talking about her eating disorder. And she was saying there's hypocrisy here because you guys didn't let me really explain or express myself. And you guys kept shutting me down and you guys won't let me, if it doesn't amuse you or if you guys don't agree with it, then it doesn't exist and it's not relevant to the group, which Crystal's pretty much saying is bullshit. And Garcelle's backing her up. So we can see a clear divide here. The only person who's kind of swaying in the middle a little bit is Diana Jenkins. And Diana... Go
if
ahead.
you step back a little bit, and we'll come back to the Crystal thing for a second. If you step back a little bit, Diana is the one who opened the door with like, this is what I think about Sutton. I don't know her very well, but you come off a little clumsy by your actions and your words. And then it's so funny to watch like Diana like exit stage right when the conversation gets really tough. She's like, you know what? I have to go. It's like,
she's like, your bodyguard is leaving, girls. Let's go.
Listen, Kyle is so much about like, you need to be empathetic. And you were not empathetic, but you don't know how people are feeling, Kyle. Like, that's the thing. And so for Crystal to be like, whoa, hold on. You weren't talking about my feelings or how I felt, last year. So I felt like that was very validated and very fair.
Well, I mean, people are already saying, I hate Diana so much. Wow. I thought that was
I don't know. I'm on the edge of her. I don't know how I feel. I feel like she is brought in as Lisa's friend. And I feel like she was put up by Lisa to come in and stir that Sutton shit, because she is Lisa's friend. I want to see how much Diana will stay on that fine line, or if she's just not going to give a shit. And maybe later down the road, you see Diana and Lisa not getting along.
Though Kyle is also exhibiting other hypocrisy here, because Kyle was telling Sutton in that moment last episode that it wasn't about her, right? When they were talking about Dorit and Sutton was trying to explain where she was coming from. But then when Dorit didn't ride with Kyle to the desert because she still had anxiety and stuff, then Kyle said, I can understand because it took me a few months to get over my burglary and it's going to take her some time. But then hold on, you're doing the same thing and you're comparing your situation to her situation. But at the end of the day, you wouldn't let Sutton compare her situation. And you said Crystal comparing her situation is like apples and oranges. So that's not fair. And
it was a very different robbery too, right? Because what the robbers and Dorit's allegedly only took like handbags and they were very quick or whatever. They didn't really take much. Whereas in Kyle's, she wasn't home coincidentally. Her alarm system wasn't turned on coincidentally. And they took very specific jewelry.
Right.
Coincidentally. So yeah, it's very different.
You keep saying coincidentally. So
everything was just such a coincidence in that robbery.
Okay.
So and then what they found some of it later, but this is, how rich people love to play with insurance. So I'm not sure. I'm not saying anything. Who knows?
I mean, you're right. You didn't accuse anybody of anything. So
no. And listen, I'm just saying, like, the alarm system wasn't turned on that night. Oh, did you get a kick out of Erika's alarm system? The cowbells on her door, on her front gate. We know if someone's coming in when we hear the cowbells.
We'll leave.
She's got the best alarm system.
Times have changed. Matter of Human said, I agree with Jason. Coincidentally, Adam is preaching today. Kyle is a hypocrite. Guys, 400 in the room. Smash that like button. I also dropped the call-in link. I'll drop it again. So if you guys want to call in, you're more than welcome. There, it's dropped. I hate when randoms try calling you out for something a friend told you if it's happened to anyone. We're here with you, Jason. Keep going. Oh, wow.
Listen.
I forget how great Jason is with his hot takes. Which, by the way, guys, after this Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, we will be back. Just full disclosure with hot, messy topics. Jason and I will be on here together, and we'll be back recapping Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Southern Charm. I'm sure maybe I have to see the first episode and see if it's good.
I
and
might
Real Housewives of Dubai.
Be into that Southern Charm.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
You know what it is, guys? I do have to say, just because I'm always behind the scenes. I keep looking at the camera that's off. I'm always behind the scenes doing stuff with Adam. It is so hard to do a live right now with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing, because you're either watching the TV, you're watching Emily D. Baker, you're watching, But I do want to say something really quick because we haven't brought it up. I don't want to bring any downer, but with this whole situation of gun points or guns and stuff like that. Our hearts and prayers are definitely going out to everything happening in Texas and the families and the kids. Like every day I'm watching it. It's so heartbreaking. So I don't want to take away from anyone's story, whether it's Sutton or Dorit's, about, being held at gunpoint, because right now I think that is a very big issue. And I just hope, things get done about this shit, because it's
it's also crazy the timing that, like, when we have moments like this, like where Sutton is in her confessionals and she's talking about these kinds of things, and then we have it playing on the TV right at the same, like in the same week that this episode airs. This isn't the first time that there's just been like those moments where Bravo hits at the same time that like a current event that's going on in the world is happening or going on.
Well, it really makes you think when you're seeing this is happening everywhere. It's happening in our real lives. It's happening on reality television, or reality, it's happening on television. It's just all around us right now. And I hope it's a constant reminder to people and, people who we've elected to do something about it, actually.
Yeah, I agree. And Aaron D said prayers for Texas, 100%. All right. Well, I did want to say too, as the episode kind of shaped up and like ended off, I thought it was interesting that Diana Jenkins was able to tell Sutton that Sutton is clumsy with her words and her behavior, and you come off really weird and wrong. And then she has the ability to go jump back in the car with her.
Girl, you don't know what an outlet is. You come off weird and wrong. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I mean, listen, and she can't have her back to a door. Diana Jenkins has some. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to pick this apart. What did you think about the women trying to talk about Crystal at the end of the episode when she was there? Well, wasn't there after she left. And then all of a sudden we see Erika, who kind of comes off like the voice of reason for a second. No. And she's like, with friends, or like, we shouldn't judge her. We should just try to hear her out, not jump on her, not judge her. But then also you have Diana Jenkins in the car and she's like, with friends, you should never feel alone. I'm surprised that these two are kind of the voice of reason in the last few seconds of the episode.
Well, I mean, Erika's not a voice of reason. We just heard Erika pipe in whenever she wants to feel like, like when she was telling Diana at the store, she's like, oh, it's just so grim and it's awful for me right now. I want that ring. Another unrelatable moment when she pipes in with Sutton isn't good with her words. And she's like, yeah. And it's like, Erika, you need to just be quiet. Like, I feel like you're not giving us any opportunities to like you at all. But sorry, I was going on another Erika rant. But
no. But what was
your question?
No, speaking of Erika, I did want to say this really quick too, because at the end, Sutton she's telling everybody that she believes that she respects people, and Erika's like, "Do you respect how you treated me last year?" And
who cares?
You hear
We're not talking about you.
Yeah, but then Sutton's kind of like, I honestly pretty much I wouldn't take it back, and Erika tries pointing Sutton out as the common denominator with the problems with Dorit, with the problems with Crystal, with the problems with Erika. And I'm just wondering where Diana Jenkins is coming from. If she's coming in as like a friend of Lisa Rinna's who's easily influenced right now, and then she'll eventually come into her own and have her own voice when it comes to the show and making her own opinions, or if she really just feels like Sutton is clumsy, weird, and has an awkward delivery.
There might be both there. I feel like she was kind of put up. And like I said, I have this, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I really do think Lisa's bring up something about Sutton, but at the same time, I really feel like Diana might think Sutton is a little clumsy with her words and her actions. Just meeting her, you might think that walking into that situation.
I agree.
Especially the situation she's been in at Harry's birthday and this one,
And I agree with this. I mean, we'll see. Diana Jenkins is rich, but clearly doesn't have a backbone. She is doing Rinna's dirty work.
That's what I'm
Diana's
getting.
Maternal skills kicking in to comfort Crystal, though. Okay. And I can't believe I have to wear the same hoodie to school drop off. Okay, guys. Okay.
I know. Life is so rough.
It's
right?
Listen, I love you, Adam, but I believe Lisa is behind her, but she's been prompted. All right, let's bring up an opinion. I'm so curious, guys. Again, 450.
Wait, can I say two things? And I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you because I know you're about to say everyone hit that like button. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
Okay, go on.
Just watching the whole kind of Kyle thing and how Crystal's it makes me question being friends with Kyle just because of, the hypocrisy of how she felt about her feelings. I can just imagine Lisa Vanderpump right now just laughing her ass off if she's watching this at home.
I don't think she's watching. Just like when Nene said she doesn't watch Atlanta, I don't think LVP is watching. I did a video.
I don't believe Nene doesn't watch Atlanta. I do have to say that.
But
I believe LVP doesn't watch Beverly Hills.
I don't think she does either. I saw where Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor, it was Brittany who did the interview, but in the interview, she's like, I just wish, it's kind of unfortunate, LVP, we used to have a great relationship with her when we were doing the show, but then it kind of just went cold. I'm thinking in my head, no shit, girl. She's opening multiple restaurants. She's still producing Vanderpump Rules. She just had a grandbaby. She has a life.
Listen, I can share that empathy with Brittany, but at the same point, I used to work for LVP and we talked all the time, but I also ran one of her businesses. We don't talk now. That's because I worked for her. I no longer work for her. So Brittany, you no longer work for her. It's not like we're friends. You were on a show that you signed up to do. You worked at one of her restaurants.
Times on the show. She's like, these are not my friends. These are my employees.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
You know who had a great episode was Bambi.
Bambi,
the dog, one of Kyle's dogs.
Oh,
she got all the food. She's running around on the golf course, living.
Bambi needs, listen, I have to say, watching Kyle's dogs, we have the best dogs because our dogs would never, ever. But listen, they're dogs. So what can you do? We still love them anyways. Let's bring up a caller and see. Let's bring up some callers and get some opinions. Again, let me drop the link really quick. Boom, almost 500 in the room. Hey guys, it feels so good. Real quick before we bring up a caller, it feels so good to kind of get back in the groove of lives. April took so much time away from YouTube because we were doing the live shows, but we were still kind of trying to pop in and out. May felt like we were getting our footing back in, and then the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff came out. And June is just going to be so kick-ass with the lives, 2 hot, messy topics a week, 2 or 3 shows to recap a week, so 4 or 5 lives a week, plus all the pre-records. It feels good to be back in it. And then Jason and I found out that we have to move. So there's a lot going on. But hold on.
It's all good things. All good things.
Let's bring up some callers. Hi, Aaron. Aaron, you were the first one in the room. Let's call it the room. Okay.
The room.
What were your thoughts about last night's episode?
I actually felt bad for Crystal and for Dorit because I felt like Dorit was trying to listen to Crystal and Kyle kind of shut Crystal down, and Crystal just thought everybody shut her down.
Right. I felt bad for Crystal too. I feel like they're not letting her have her feelings, and they're kind of telling her how she needs to feel. And I understand why she's saying she's triggered. Like it's not fair that Lisa, Erika, and Kyle and Dorit all get to sympathize with each other. They all understand where each other's coming from. But the moment Garcelle says something, the moment Crystal says something, the moment that Sutton says something, it's just like, that's so unrelatable, and it's apples to oranges. And
I love how they look at each other too. Like, how am I supposed to react right now? Because how are we all going to react as a team?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
I felt like Dorit didn't do that this time, though. I felt like Dorit was actually trying to listen to Crystal and get what information, and she just kept getting shut down every time she was going to Crystal. So Crystal was kind of doing what Kyle was doing to her a little bit.
Agree. I was just going to say this, Claire, a good point, because even when Dorit was standing over Crystal, you saw Kyle jump in. She's like on the side, like,
yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Oh my God, don't ever make that face again. I don't know what that face was, but okay, we'll take it. But no, that was a good point though. Claire said Dorit standing over Crystal was an invasion of personal space, in my opinion. And that's kind of true. And I understand where Dorit came off. I think that she's very aware that the cameras are there. And she's like, are you kidding me, Crystal? And she's trying to understand. And she's like, no, talk to me. And Crystal's just shut down. She's like, nope, you guys don't get it. I'm not playing this bullshit game with you guys. You're not going to get it. You never got it. You're never going to get it. I'm done.
Yeah. Crystal really did get shut down a lot last season, though. So you can
Agreed.
Well, Aaron, I feel like sometimes you have the unpopular opinion because we know that you are kind of an Erika stan a little bit in your own right. And I'm going to bring up another caller too who likes to challenge you back and forth. But I feel like you guys have a great mutual respect for each other. And I can see the finger on the mouth wondering if that's you. And yes, it is. It's you down in the call list. But I do want to say really quick or ask you, what were your thoughts about Kyle trying to bring this information up about Sutton again to the group without Sutton there? Is that shady as hell? Or do you agree with Kyle? Because we're on a reality TV show.
That's kind of what they do every season, and they've all done that. Sutton's done that behind other people's backs, so she can't really call out Kyle for that.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, let me bring up some of these really quick. I'm with you, Adam. Thank gosh somebody's with me. I swear, I feel like Jason.
Yeah, I've been with you for 9 years.
Zach,
so,
they're all like their own little like pot. Jason, Mike, and Zach are like the Faux Force 3 or the Force Faux 3. And then I'm over here just like slutting for Sutton.
There is no faux about me, friend. So
okay. Well.
Faux you.
Okay. Hi, Mike.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Good?
Is there
Hi, Mike.
How we doing?
Good morning. All right, Mike, what did you give this episode?
I'm gonna say this was a 6 out of 10 for me. It was a little slower than the previous. It kind of seemed like a filler episode in a way, but a good filler, in my opinion.
Okay. And then how are you feeling about Diana Jenkins right now? I think that you said in the chat that you're not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I just, for me in particular, when someone seems out of touch, it's a turnoff for me. I used to, if it's coming off as funny or from like a humorous place, or it's like, they're trying to make fun of themselves, I like it. But the fact that I think she pretended she didn't know what an outlet store was, because how do you not know what
there's a difference between like, what I like to watch on Housewives. Like I was saying, like she has that kind of thing that you want to watch, which like Caroline Stanbury, she knows what an outlet is, but she's also fabulous. So it's like, it's fun to watch her. Whereas like Diana acts like she lives in space or something,
But Diana came from nothing. So how doesn't she know what an outlet is?
That's exactly what I'm saying too. It's not like you were born.
But I'm a fan.
Like Paris Hilton, maybe she's out of touch and doesn't know what an outlet store is, but Diana Jenkins, not so much.
Well, and for Diana too, to say like I'm allergic to stores, she really is putting it on a little bit. She is.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, it's a bit much. And then it's kind of cringy the way that she's very obviously siding with, Rinna, and she's sticking with her friend. It seems like that, and when she started speaking on Sutton and made the comment she did about Sutton, like calling her weird, I thought was kind of mean. I didn't think that it was coming from a place of, like healthy criticism. I thought it was almost bullying the way she said it. And then she got in the car with her afterward, which was really weird. If I were Sutton,
I think it was coming from Lisa.
Do you think it's a language barrier though? Like the way that she communicated it? Was she meant something different or no?
I don't think so. It just came across really mean. It kind of like a bully, like I said. And yeah, I am kind of, biased when it comes to Sutton because I love Sutton, but I kind of felt bad that no one spoke up for her in a way. I know that Erika was trying to make a point by saying she's the common denominator. So maybe Diana was making a point to that, saying, well, yeah, she is kind of clumsy with the words she says. And I do see her point, but there's something about the word weird to me that I don't like. When you call someone weird, it's just like, who are you to say who's weird? Everybody has their own thing. Everybody's their own way. Who are you to project what you think she should be and call her weird? I just didn't like that.
And I feel like we're too early on with Diana, and who knows, because we do know when they film these shows, they kind of rearrange scenes and try to put them in a sequence that makes sense. So there might have been more scenes that they filmed together before this where Diana has had more FaceTime with Sutton. We just don't know it because we've only seen 2 scenes with them together now. But it does come off like, I feel like this is way too early for you to make that judgment call on somebody that you don't even know.
I actually didn't think that she was doing it like out of meanness when she's like clumsy with your words. I didn't think she was like attacking her. Like, yeah, in the end it was a little awkward, but I thought she was coming like, yeah, she's clumsy with her words. She doesn't mean it that way. I didn't take that as a bad thing. I thought that was like explaining Sutton maybe didn't mean to say it that way when you're clumsy with your words.
Okay.
It could have been. I mean, if you put it that way, but definitely the way they edited it and the way the situation, it just seemed like she was just saying it to kind of put the blame on Sutton as far as, everything goes. And then Erika is like right behind her, like, yeah. Like,
now, I thought Erika jumping in made it look like that, but when you just took what Diana said, it didn't seem that bad to me for Sutton.
Aaron, I love her.
I personally, I would not say, I would have left it at, you're clumsy with your words, that's why you get yourself in trouble. But then to say you are weird and clumsy, it's that word that's like triggering for me because you singled somebody out in the group, then you alienated them by calling them weird. You know, it's just like ever since I was young, I've never called people weird or anything because it's like.
Well, you think with someone with so much class who gets designer stuff sent to you so you don't have to go to a store can think of a different word besides weird.
Yeah, that's why I think she did it purposefully too, because you're smart enough to know, when things are tacky and when, so it just, and it came across as.
I still have hope though for Diana. I feel like there's might be parts of her life or part of her we haven't really seen that she hasn't really showed us or opened up with that I think we might like, but I don't know
No, I want to add to this really quick too, and I'm going to bring up another opinion as long as there's no flack on the mics. But I wanted to ask Aaron, because Aaron is, again, an Erika stan, and there was that moment that we saw. I said this at the beginning of the live, that we have family in town, and I don't know if it was a never before seen scene or whatever. I just saw it this morning on Instagram, and I was like, where was this moment? But it was between Garcelle and Erika, where Garcelle's asking her, why haven't you shown any empathy? Like, you really haven't. And Erika's like, we don't even know if the victims haven't actually been paid. And it's like, what? Aaron?
Now, when she said about the victims not being paid, that was crazy. But I can see her saying she can't say anything. That's legit true. They tell you, do not say anything. So she
shouldn't have said
but
that,
she shouldn't
right?
have said that either, though.
Right. Okay.
Like-
okay. Let's welcome Corey. Hi,
Hi,
Corey.
guys. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Hey, Corey.
Welcome back, Corey. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Oh, is there an echo?
I hope not.
Oh, there's a little bit of an echo, Corey. Do you want to call back in?
Yeah, I'll call back in.
Oh, sorry. Is there
There's still an echo.
Hello? Hello?
No, it's fine.
Okay, sorry, I won't sing. All right. So if we're still waiting for Corey, I want to ask both of you really quick. And Aaron, I'll start with you, then I'll go to Mike, and then I'll go to Jason. Well, I'll ask all of you. Aaron, what are you looking forward to most in next week's episode?
I kind of want to see what we learn more about Diane. I'm on the fence. I don't know if I like her or don't like her yet. I'm giving her a chance. So
Okay. And then Mike?
I'm gonna say I'm looking forward to seeing new drama. I want them to move past Dorit's robbery. I know, like, it's very dramatic, and like, yeah, I do feel bad for her. But I want like new material. We just need to keep the ball rolling.
Mike, I'm gonna have to just agree with you there. I do feel horrible about what's happened with Dorit and her whole situation. It's just not a journey that I really want to follow on the show for the rest of the season. I know that might sound very not empathetic, but it's just not what I just don't want to watch it.
I mean, we have a lot more drama to look forward to, though, because we obviously know that Lisa Rinna's leaked messages got out there calling Kathy Hilton homophobic and racist. We know that she's unfortunately going to have the passing of her mom. We know that Garcelle is about to warn Sutton about her new friend, and I think that is Crystal, but I just don't know what's going on. We know that Diana and Sutton are going to go head to head. We know that Erika and Garcelle are going to go head to head, and Erika and Crystal are about to go head to head. So we have a lot of drama to look forward to. I just don't know. Honestly, to be fair, I've really liked and enjoyed every single episode so far. The preview for next week's episode didn't really, I was like, you guys didn't give us the most exciting edit, but that's okay. I'm not going to sleep on it. We'll still be watching and talking about it.
I agree, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mike, Aaron, we appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for calling in to join us. And we can't wait to have you guys back next week and just get back to the lives.
Yes, can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Is there still
like next week? I really want to. I'm really curious to see what Garcelle meant when, she was talking to Sutton about the new friend.
No, I
want to know what the conversation, like the rest of the conversation Sutton and Crystal had, that was a little dark, and if that's going to be revealed.
Exactly. Yeah, I do want to know that part. Let's see if Corey's mic is, if there's an echo.
Yeah.
Hi, Corey. If there's an echo.
Yeah.
Hey. Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Can you hear me? Oh, no.
It's a little.
Oh, she just popped out. Okay. Well, with that, I agree with you, Jason. I think that I'm looking forward to seeing what Crystal's alluding to when she said something darker. And I also want to know who Garcelle is warning Sutton about, even though we think it's Crystal, because that's the only new friend that she has in the group, because her and Crystal were not friends before. She's obviously not talking about Lisa Rinna. She's not talking about Dorit. She's not talking about Erika. They're not friends. And Diana Jenkins, she just called her weird, like Mike said. So
yeah, I do have to say, I'm happy that I'm enjoying Beverly Hills again, which is great. God, I don't know what else I'm getting really tired of Kyle. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah,
I mean, You're not the only person. Kamercan said, was never a fan of Kyle. Every season she comes on, I'm like, why? No surprise, Kyle can't even be loyal to her own sister. Kyle is no real friend. She's no queen of Beverly Hills. Oof. Okay. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to go get ready. We have some running around to do. We have pre-records coming your way. And tomorrow is Friday, which means hopefully, I know that right now there's a lot going on in the world and it really is sad. And it's something that can't be ignored. And hopefully there will be change made along the way. But I know it's Memorial Day weekend and a lot of people have friends and family coming in town. So we're wishing you guys, since we won't see you tomorrow for a live, we'll see you for pre-records, but we're wishing you guys a very happy weekend. I know that's hard to even say and hard to even fathom right now in light of what's going on. Again, I'm not trying to be, I'm just saying we're sending you all the positive vibes and all the love this weekend. Hopefully there's one moment out of Friday, Saturday, Sunday that you get a smile on your face in any capacity. We love you guys and we are so grateful. Thank you to all the mods. Thank you to everyone who called in. And thank you to everybody for just being a part of this amazing community. Jason, did I miss anything?
No, I think that's well said.
All right. We love you guys and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.